I don't think that what you're doing is the wrong way to heal yourself, but I feel like you are just hyperactive in your healing. You're very aware of your spiritual awakening. I feel like you could even tell people or have conversations about it pretty often about your spiritual awakening. But it's almost like you check everything off as a spiritual awakening, like as part of your spiritual awakening. This person did something to you, you're supposed to cut them off because it's part of your spiritual awakening, when in reality that person was just on their period or in a bad mood, so they didn't actually mean you harm. That's what spirits are trying to say here. They're like, yeah, I like, spirits are like, yeah, you cut this person off, and maybe you were eventually supposed to cut them off, but they still had time to be in your journey, you know? So spirits are kind of just like, hey, you're rushing your lessons. They'll come when they're supposed to come. Like, they'll come when they're needed. You don't need to kind of force them in. So God is your source is coming out in reverse. I don't think that you're very religious. If you do resonate with being very religious, then this might not be your reading, because it seems like you are focused more on, like, you are very spiritually aware, but I don't think you really believe in a religion right now, or that's not something you really ever, I feel like, focused on. So spirits made sure to kind of tell me, like, when you revisit nature, or when you're asked to revisit nature and animals and sit with, like, the earth, I was kind of told not to say it in a way of like sit with God or talk with God, because I don't think you necessarily believe that. I don't think that's something that you would resonate with. It's more like sit with your source, sit with your guidance. Where is your guidance? I feel like maybe when you were raised, your parents were people who didn't talk about religion much, and they just talked about some sort of guidance, or speak with your like, they could have explained it in a very specific way that you resonate with now more as you're growing, as you're like aging. Now you kind of resonate more with your family or your parents' beliefs, but I don't think that this is religion based, so that'll resonate with who it's supposed to. You know, the spider web coming out. I'm gonna grab one more to see what's in the web, what's caught in the web. The father. I was just mentioning that you could have had some issues with like your family's beliefs. You know, with the web coming out and then the father, it could be making me think that maybe you are going to start to have some like dabble in some sort of religion, or maybe you are going to start to like embrace religion more. The father coming out somehow is making me think of like the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, and being entangled in that web could be that this is something that is kind of going to become a part of you at some point, but it's a part of a web, so there's a lot of sequences that needs to be brought forward before this is something that I feel like is something that you're really intertwined in. But as of right now, I don't feel like you're very religious, and that could change. So I do want to know a little bit more about, because there was this bipolar energy, this like energy that seems to divert to one other end of the spectrum here, on how you were feeling about some decision or choice that was made in the past. So it does seem like whatever choice you did make in the past was because of something based on your intuition was telling you like to kind of leave, or that it wasn't going to be like long-term or successful for you. It does feel like you kind of made this like a part of you, and you chose to kind of embrace it instead of like disregarding it. So it seemed like you're very content with that, but you do have someone, or you have a bipolar energy here that is not very content with it. So sorry, I had to pick this one off the floor. Lapis lazuli. I'm gonna grab one more. About this opposing sort of bipolar energy that feels more conflicted. Tell me, why do they feel conflicted? Okay, spirits, talk to me. Tell me, why do they feel conflicted? Okay, thank you. Transition and change. Strong vibrations quickly activate the heart chakra and the third eye. It can help you transition away from sadness and lift you up, and its strong celestial energy also puts you I'm speaking so fast today. It can help you transition away from your sadness and lift you up with its strong celestial energy. Also, put under your pillow and it can help with insomnia. I think that this was a quick, I think that this affected the other person, or you know what? I need one more card because I need to figure out if this is your bipolar energy or if this is like something else in your energy that is... No, okay. So I do think that this is... One more. Give me one more. Hold on. Thinking. Let's go with you. Tell me who's this. 2 people, 1 person. 2 people or 1 person. Empress. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted. So we have the Empress out. This is your energy. It does feel like this was the feminine side here. We did get like the masculine energy, and I said you could have been felt like you were in like that king energy. There was a reason, and a specific reason why I felt like I needed to mention to you that there was a king out here. So I feel like you could know when you step into that king energy or your masculine energy, when you're like when you brace things, but you like brace them with like a little bit more of like hostility or anger, but it feels like it comes from a place of just wanting to have control or wanting to have maybe like both pieces of the pie. Like I'm hearing the best of both worlds, and it's getting like this picture here of like you wanting this but also wanting this. So there's a frustration in not being able to have both. Transition and change, and it says here that it's quickly activate the heart chakra is what we got for this crystal out. I was getting right away that this could have been something that was like instant. Like as soon as you have decided that you were not going to go for whatever was on side A, you were going to go for side B, that you instantly regretted it. It was instantly like, fuck, what's on A? You know, like I want to see what's on A. So you have lapis lazuli coming out, and that is a stone that harmonizes with your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical self. So it balances out everything, right? It's like a chakra, like what do they call that? Calibrator. It brings inner peace. When used with meditation, this beautiful stone opens the third eye. Both of these stones open up your third eye. So obviously we know that as soon as this happened, as soon as you decided to go a different direction, you started to follow down a spiritual path, which we know that that's what kind of caused you to open up this like I feel like you see it as like a can of worms. Again, this feels like it's being shoved down your throat. Maybe you got a little glimpse of it being real and you were like, okay, well now I really got to deep dive into this, and you started to kind of like really get into that. But it did open up your third eye. It did develop that for you. But this is now something that you lose sleep over. It's something that you think about. You're constantly wondering what's over on A, or like, did I make the good decision being over here on B? What's on A? So I do want to know. I want to find out like what is going to come from this. So you have Jasper. Stress is a part of life, and sometimes it seems that stress is unbearable. That's where this beautiful stone comes in. Place under your pillow at night, and peaceful, calming dreams come. Bring strength and balance and courage. And I was just talking about how you could be losing sleep. So the first step would be to get better sleep. A lot of the times I think we want advice on like how to like get that person back, or how to like change something, and sometimes you just can't. You just gotta fix the outside issues. You know, sometimes the bridge is already gone. You just gotta help the survivors that fell off of it or whatever. I don't, that's a really bad analogy, but it's what I had. Amazonite, it's about electromagnetic energy that pollutes the air caused by your phone, microwave, radios, all these different things, right? Whenever I get this card out, it tells me that you are doing a lot of like research on your phone. You're on your phone too much. You could need to filter out some of your time with something a little differently, because your heart chakra and your throat chakra, they need it. When you're on your phone too much and you're just like this, you're always getting like shots through the heart. You're always like seeing things that you want to like talk about. You're always like angry, or sometimes things are meant to provoke you or make you kind of angry or sad or feel a certain way. So when you're constantly scrolling or looking on your phone, your heart is constantly getting those like you know, little hits of things that you're seeing. It's not just dopamine and serotonin, it's also affecting you emotionally. So it could be time for that to stop like drowning out so much of your emotion and to kind of like get yourself away from that.